Big Basket presents RCB Podcast.
It's a really interesting conversation to have because even here in India, there's a very strong domestic structure, right? And there is a generation that says you got to work those hard, yes. But there are a lot of younger players who get chances in IPL and then go on to play for the country. So this is like a judgment-free zone. We're just trying to figure out what necessarily works, what helps you as a cricketer get accustomed to what the big stage is. So you've had different experiences from that.
I think for me as well, by the time I got to the Australian team, I feel like I was ready. I'd been playing for a couple of years in T20 cricket, but performing pretty well. And also because I play a pretty specialised role, there was something I could add to that team. So, by the time I got picked, I wasn't like, I'm here to have 10, 15 games to get used to it. I was like, I've been playing, I've played 100, maybe 150 T20s. I'm like, I got to contribute. So that was a big part for me, because if I don't feel like I belong somewhere, I'm probably not even can't contribute about as half as well as possible.
That's an interesting mindset, because there's still a few just are trying to play the other formats as well and be those sort of all format players. In this current age with the demands of how high octane the cricket is it possible to be that sort of player?
My body probably over the last 2 years would suggest not. Been injured quite a little bit. I think it's possible to a degree. I think, again, Australian cricket's getting a lot better at, potentially in a 5-match series playing games 1, 3 and 5, or 1, 2 and 3 and then heading home for a few weeks just to refresh, or, missing the odd one-day game or something like that, just to get home for that week and maximise that time and refresh and come back to the group. So I think not necessarily resting whole series, but it's just picking and choosing your moments. And I guess that's probably the biggest meeting we have of the year. We go through the calendar and see exactly what we want to play. Obviously, all the test matches are a given as best we can. And then, through the white ball stuff where, we can play these 2 out of the 3 or these 3 out of the 5 or whatever it is. So, often if there's a test match around the corner, you have to build up anyway. So I'd much prefer to play them to bowl those balls in games and get ready that way than, slog it out in the nets of training. So I think it is possible to a degree, and we'll keep working on that.
I just think that we're so lucky in Australian cricket, because these guys, our fast bowlers that you're talking about going all the formats, they're so experienced now. And so they know what works for their bodies. They know what they're capable of doing. And, they don't have to have excessive prep to lead into a match. So, to have, it's much talked about how our fast bowling attack is. So for those guys to be able to plan ahead, that takes a lot of experience, and you can't just do that when you're young and you don't really know how things work. So that helps massively with those guys in planning, and that I think the track record of results shows that they're allowed to make the decisions for themselves, because what you're going to get out of them.
Yeah, that respect back and forward with the conversations and our opinions and what we think's best for us. It's
listening to your bodies.
You earn that over the years, I guess, and the group, the coaching staff and the selection group we've got now is, best I've seen.
10 minutes, Andre.
Boys, big basket. 10 minutes, Andre, big basket. 10 minutes, Andre, big basket.
Big Basket, delivering in 10 minutes.